So Jade, what do you think about this new TFC stadium or the redevelopment of the TFC stadium?
Have you seen it in person?
No, but I hear it's like rickety.
Okay, so that's a great word. So I've been like in and around BMO for, I don't know, the past, I would say the year, like since they've been developing it. And rickety is a great word because you could see like through the stands that they built.
Yeah.
And it's just like held up by all these poles, but they just covered it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have like
it looks
a nice wrap to cover it so it doesn't look rickety.
Yeah, but when you're like walking through a little bit, like they have plywood that's painted and stuff. And I don't know, I can't imagine, what's this capacity now? Like 50,000, something like that?
Okay.
That many fans going through at once, it's a little bit,
because there's that stadium in Downsview, like the stage or whatever, I don't know what it's called, Rogers Stage or something.
Yeah.
And like clients of mine have told me, they're like, yeah, when you do concerts and people start jumping, people kind of just like look at each other and they're like, okay, we should stop.
Yeah, because that goes high too, right?
I don't know, I've never been there, but
yeah,
I think it does.
Remember when they were building that too, because I was playing at Downsview.
Yeah.
I was seeing it, I'm like, that is huge.
That is rickety.
Yeah, that is like really, really tall. Imagine being like the very top bleacher. You'd probably have a great view.
Yeah.
But getting down, you're either going to go down really fast or you got to wait. But yeah, it's exciting to see. So.
But what I don't understand is that if they're trying to grow soccer in Canada and in Toronto, like why do you put a temporary thing? And especially with politicians involved, it's like the construction of it probably was $1 bajillion over budget. And then the deconstruction or the removal of it is going to be $1 billion over budget.
That's a good point.
Why don't they just leave it there? If you guys have like the new league in Canada, if TFC's growing as well, they want to
or like promote it more, right? Or like
why take it down?
That's a good point. I don't know. Like I think that the way that it's set up, it's like it doesn't look bad. I don't think like. The one side of the bleachers that is kind of blocked by a beam that goes across.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still have a pretty good view, but I don't know why they wouldn't leave it. Like maybe that's the thing I think about Canadian sports is that we underestimate, and for that reason, it kind of puts a damper on the excitement or potential that it could grow to. Whereas maybe like a place like the US, they put everything into sports. Like you go into a store that's within a university town, any store, they're gonna have merch.
Right.
And that just like, it kind of embeds the community, the people that live around the sport in general, to be at the top of mind for consumers everywhere, because it's right in your face. And I feel like in Canada, we don't put that same excitement around sport and don't maybe realize how it could really impact our youth, right? And now that we have these pro leagues here, you're right, for men, for women, we've got the CPL, we've got Toronto FC and the MLS, we've got the NSL. It's time that we have a stadium that can hold 50,000 people because you see these things happening around the world. Obviously for men it's been there, but for women, we just saw the Women's Champions League final.
Yeah.
And even before that, let's even start before that, even in league games, Barcelona's selling out. They're having like 50, 60,000 people come and watch these women play. Why can't we do that here? Yeah. If we put the same focus and excitement so people catch on and kind of ride that wave, you know?
Have you seen Poland stadiums?
I haven't.
Like the one in Warsaw?
No.
It is fucking incredible. Like
it
is architecturally, it's like the backdrop of the landscape.
Okay.
So you come, you fly in and you see it, and it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they use it for concerts and obviously games, and you could do a tour. So there's like a whole tourism thing around it.
I love that. Yeah.
Apparently they have a jail.
In the stadium?
In the stadium.
Wow.
So if you get
one-stop shop.
If you get too drunk, they'll put you in jail, in like soccer jail.
Holy crap.
So yeah, you can tour all that stuff.
Soccer jail.
Right? And I'm like, why? And then we're kind of like the laughing stock of, I don't know, the like global soccer, because I think that stadium that they put the rickety stands in has been ranked the worst.
Yes.
Like, is it of all time or is it of like
Well,
now?
It's because of its capacity too, right? It's the World Cup.
Yeah.
50,000 people, 60,000 people?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's amazing that Toronto's selected as a city, but I might get some heat for this, and that's okay. I just don't think that we're as prepared as we should be.
Yeah.
And You're looking at even stuff about how the city functions. It's already a nightmare to get in and out of that city without a global event there.
Yeah.
If you look at a place, and again, it's not in the heart of Toronto, but Centennial Park.
Yeah.
They already have the format of a stadium. It needs a lot of love. So why not look at this when you get the bid for the World Cup and say, hey, this is a stadium that we could actually completely rehance. There can be concerts there. This could be a venue for future pro teams because it's still in and around that GTA hub of Etobicoke, Toronto.
Yeah.
And it's also a huge grounds. I know they just added some things to it, but nothing around soccer. So I completely agree with you that I think it's just such a temporary judgment and lapse of an opportunity to grow sport here, and also just like you said, entertainment, tours, so many things.
But the one cool thing that it's been really, really fun and cool to watch is like AFC and that entire league, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? You were the first player signed to AFC,
Yes.
but not in the entire league, right?
That too.
That too. Okay.
Yes.
You see that?
Yeah. No, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Really
What was
cool.
that like? What's that?
It was like I've been saying, it was a dream come true. Obviously, how my season rolled out and how it started was pretty unfortunate with an injury. Obviously, no player wants to start a season like that, but let alone when there's finally professional opportunity here at home, where I've been living out of a suitcase for so many years. It was devastating for that, but I will say I learned a lot about myself. I learned how I can be pretty strong in tough moments, and how much you need to rely on the people around you, whether that's team like Elevate or family, friends, and people that truly understand what you're going through, right? So overall, it was a very life-changing experience, not just for that, but also because I've been playing this game for, don't do the math, but 29 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's here in the next generation of talent, like the younger me's that I get to coach with, get this opportunity, it is so great.
Yeah.
It's like, you did your job, Jade, the game's in a better place. Now let's help these next generations of ballers come through and live that same dream.
So what was that like, training for all those years, but you're training and there's not even a league in Canada? Like, what kept you training to reach this like pro level despite not having a league in Canada?
I think for me, like, I never really looked at it like it was just training. It was, my friends were there. I loved the game. I'm such a competitive person. And
yeah, I could tell by when you golf.
Yeah. I don't even stand a chance in golf, but I still try. No, honestly, I think it's like there's so much love there, and it was like an outlet for me. Life is so busy and throws so many things at you. But when I got to step on the field for 90 minutes, everything went away. And it was just me and the ball. The moments that come and go in those games too, the passion, everything is just unmatched. And, I think once I realized the pro route was there, I was old now. It was like, I think between 21 to 23 by the time I actually took my first pro opportunity. And, if you look now, you have girls that are in high school, 16, 17 years old, starting their pro career. And I just wish that I had maybe a bit more guidance around like, hey, you seem to love this. What do you want to do with it? Rather than, just going for school and getting my education or playing because it's something that keeps me busy. I didn't really narrow my focus on that pro route pretty early, I would say. I did it just because I loved it, and it was a very safe space for me to be in.
What were the youngest girls on AFC? Were they like 17?
17, Kaylee Hunter.
No way.
Yeah. So that's
Wow.
like a generation, and then some.
Yeah.
Between like, I was the oldest player on the team,
Yeah.
and she was the youngest. And it just goes to show like how much talent is like coming through the doors. And that should be exciting for people, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the league is here, which is great. We help create it, and that's fantastic because, I've been around the soccer scene for so long. I got my moment, which is amazing. But now it's about bringing that moment to life for so many people, and not just players, but Canadians. Like, women and men that love celebrating sport, and it's right here. And it's so cool to see, play with someone so young and see like their futures in front of them, and it's going to be so bright.
I went to that the inaugural game.
Yeah.
Where you guys had it at BMO.
Yes.
That was fucking
That was
unreal.
the game to see.
It was like the atmosphere, and everybody was hyped up about it, and they did a really good job promoting it. I think all of the merch sold out.
Yes.
Like everything.
Yeah.
All the little
they did
shops
fantastic.
and stands.
Yeah.
Like even the jerseys, like the jersey that I got, the blue, and like really, really cool.
Such a cool jersey.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think
maybe the coolest jersey I've ever worn.
Yeah,
that was a really detailed, amazing jersey. Yeah.
And like it was packed, and I know like unfortunately you didn't get to play that one.
Yeah.
But what was it like on the sidelines? Like did you get emotional? Did you get like
100%.
what did it feel like?
I'm not going to sit here and say it was an easy day, right? I would definitely be lying. You have FOMO in those moments because you dream of that. I lived in an apartment at the time that I could see the stadium from.
No way.
And so I was thinking about it every single day, because I knew that was the home opener. And then when the injury happened and I knew that I wasn't going to make it in time for that, you just got to shift focus. So to see so many people show up for that and to see the excitement around it, it blew me away. Super emotional, grateful, excited, motivated to get back because I didn't want to miss anything. But on the flip side, sitting in the stands was really tough, really, really tough. Walking around the field, thanking everybody afterwards and seeing my friends, my family in the stands and wearing a boot, not ideal. But that moment will live rent-free in my head forever. It was just, it was so cool, so cool.
Being in the stands, the coolest part, like I have 2 daughters, and I think I told you this before, but it's incredible having 2 young daughters and seeing that, because I think a lot of guys especially want sons.
Okay.
Because of the sports thing.
Yeah.
And because of the like involvement in sports. And I don't know, when Olivia was born, I was like, I toss a football around with her. I toss like soccer. We do like all sports.
Yep.
And she's got a wicked arm in baseball.
Yeah.
Like
that's awesome.
And so for me to see that, and I'm like, holy crap, there's like, you guys have created a market for this. And like, it was just so cool to see.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, the fact, even the people behind it, right? Like they've lived it. Dinah Matheson, Christine St. Clair, like they're the icons of Canadian women's soccer. And for them to come back and create this for us, it's the best example of finally being seen, if you will. You know what I mean? Like recognize the gap. You've got a national team that's winning gold medals and you have no domestic pro league. It's a massive gap there, right? Like you have a lot of talent leaving the country. Why wouldn't you want to keep that here?
Where do they go?
Europe.
Like, where do they train in Europe and then
come like
represent Canada here?
Before here, like it would be like you got to pack up a suitcase and move to England. You got to move to anywhere in Europe. It's harder if you don't have a passport, right? For that citizenship, there's a big fee that comes for the club as an international. It can get upwards to like 50,000 euro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And clubs won't spend that unless you're incredible. If you play for the national team, however, you get what's called carded, and that fee gets waived.
Okay.
So you see a lot of these national team players playing in the highest leagues in the US, in Europe, in England. And for me, because I wasn't no longer in that program, I had to go get my citizenship, which took 3 years. And I got into Hungary before my passport came through. And that was an experience. It just wasn't a good fit for me. And finally, when I got my Italian citizenship, packed up, landed in Rome, and lived it up for 6 months, 7 months. It was fantastic.
So you have Canadian, Hungarian.
Not Hungarian. Hungarian, they were able to take me.
Okay, so that was like one of those deals, right?
Yeah.
But then you still have Italian?
Still have my Italian.
No way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's wicked.
It's incredible. I will hopefully have a home there soon. So.
The crazy part about, so I'm a part of this real estate group that you know, and when I first joined the group, like not too long ago, like 4 years ago, it was about like what property do you own and what strategy do you use for cash flow and income and whatever, right? Do you know what the conversations now at these meetings are?
What?
What citizenship do you have?
Yeah.
Like, how mobile can you be globally,
Absolutely.
right? Because you never know, right, with stuff going on politically and whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's so cool that soccer has given you an Italian citizenship.
I know. I'm so grateful for that. And my nonna, that was my way of going about it. And God bless her soul, she bared with me through the amount of steps it was to go and get it. But it opened a door for my entire family. My dad has it, my brother, my cousins, my aunt, my uncle. Like, because we did that groundwork, you know, it opened the door for so many people. But you're right, like, to be able to up and leave if I wanted to and go live there for whatever reason, I look at that as a flex. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's incredible that I could do that if I wanted to. My family could do that if we wanted to. So yeah.
I have my Polish citizenship for a long time. So we're working on Joanna getting hers, and then so the kids as well.
Love that. Yes.
And yeah, it's just, as a kid, I was like, which passport do I use? Polish? Canadian? Like, you just have that option.
So you had it since you were young.
I had it when I think I got it when I was like a teenager, maybe like 14 or 15, something like that.
Yeah, did you use it a lot?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for, I don't know, for funsies. Like, I didn't know.
So you're like, you're going to like PEI, let's use my Polish passport.
Well, so my Canadian one's actually expired.
Oh.
And so we've been holding off going really anywhere because, well, particularly to the States, because we want to do some stuff in the States. But then somebody's like, you just use your Polish one. I was like, oh my God, I could. Like, why don't I?
It's actually so true because I'm about to book a flight for vacation.
Yeah.
And my passport expires in December. And you can't fly, obviously, right? You need 6 months. But I have my Italian passport.
There you go.
And I'm like, should I just use my Italian to go to the US? They might ask some questions, but that's okay.
They might like you more.
I was going to say, it could actually work in my favor.
Right now, you probably want to keep that Canadian one tucked away.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point. That's a fair point.
Where would you go? Where would you said hopefully have a house soon in Italy.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. South.
Okay.
So my nonna is Calabrese.
Okay.
So Calabria is like older farm town-ish area, but I am very much a warm person. Like, if I could go away from after Christmas up until end of April to avoid the winter here, I would. And I mean, Napoli is nice, but it's not the safest at night, I would say. Rome was a dream. I lived like 20 minutes from the Colosseum in like a cute little town. But honestly, for me, if I'm gonna invest in something over there, it would have to be near water. Yeah. I'm like water brings me so much peace. And if I could just be, 10 minutes from the ocean. Yeah.
I could watch water like all day.
Yeah.
Just the waves crashing. That I could just sit there
and do nothing.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. That and fire.
Yes.
I could watch a bonfire.
It's like a massage to my brain. I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I just get lost in it. It'll be like, Mike, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Don't talk to me.
Please. Yeah, I totally feel that.
So is this like a vacation, split your time between Canada and?
I mean, it would be work. It would definitely be work. I hope to be in a place that allows me to either work remotely or work while I'm over there. I taught some English while I was in Italy, so I have some experience with that, and it was really fun. But you know what? One can dream, and for now it is a dream. But I think, the more and more I think about it, it would bring me a lot of peace and solidarity to know that I'm using my roots for the right reason and actually spending time there and getting to know where I come from. I think that's important. I'm also part Serbian. My mom's side is Irish and Scottish, so I have a lot of traveling to do. But starting in Italy seems like a good
Highly recommend Ireland, though.
Oh, yeah?
Ireland is awesome.
Is it rainy there, though? Because I'm not a rainy person.
When we went, it rained like in the morning, like right before you woke up.
Okay.
And then by like 9:30, 10 a.m., everything just dried out because all the sun. But we went, we went to go see the Cliffs of Moher.
Okay.
And there was a lady there, like a guide or something, and she's like, you guys take all the pictures you can because it's not like this. Like it was crystal clear. You could see everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's like mostly like foggy.
Okay.
When you go because it's like super high up.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, highly recommend that. But yeah, so how would you describe like Hungary, Italy, and the way that they ran their leagues compared to that first season in AFC? Like, is there anything that like AFC has to learn or can learn from like the European leagues?
So, okay, I would start with this by saying that the scale in which that this league here in Canada is accessible to watch and to be a part of, whether it's through social media, you're watching games online, you want to be in person and you know about it, they've done a fantastic job. Whereas in Italy, it was very quiet. It was not necessarily frowned upon that girls play soccer, but not top of the charts. It's definitely grown a lot since I was there. I was there in 2019. Pay scale was also pretty low. Same in Hungary. Whereas the girls didn't even have their own stadium. They played in something that looked like a pasture, or where they would train, it would be a space as big as this place for an entire team of professional players. So the gaps in terms of the men and the women were huge, huge. The quality of players, big difference, I would say. Individually.
Like amongst the team.
Yeah, I would say like the players I played with in both Hungary and in Italy, very skilled technically, although when you put them on the field together and the coaching that was given, it's a little bit lower. Like,
really?
I would say there's a lot more development here in Canada and a lot of highlight on that and structure. Whereas it's maybe more individually focused or very one way, if you will, in my experience in Hungary and Italy. And yeah, and for that reason, I just, like I said to you, Hungary, it was just a little bit too behind as to where I wanted to be at the time.
Right.
The players, like I said, individually, fantastic. But put us on the field together, it's a little bit of a nightmare.
Right.
In Italy, same thing. It was the tactics and stuff, they were there, but not necessarily to the level that I've been exposed to back home. Whereas I just felt I crave that. I crave that challenge to learn a different style. You're preparing for this opponent this week. Okay, this is what we're going to do to change things. I love that. And I just didn't get that same experience overseas as I did here.
It's interesting because like the way that I think of it, and I think most people would think of it, of soccer in Canada, is that we're kind of newbies to this on a global stage. Did you think that it was because it was women's soccer that it kind of got, I don't know,
pushed
not
to
the
side?
same attention as like the men's Italian team? Or
Yeah, I
that-
think they were playing catch up at the time, whereas the men's was already established. There's already a lot of excitement. You can see the pathway. It's very clear. You know, you have Serie A in Italy, and some of the best teams play there. Some of the best players ever. Whereas women, you have Serie A, but it's not as popular. You're not playing in the same stadiums. You're playing in a stadium that can hold 1,000 people, maybe. And yeah, I just think that like the players were there, the talent was there, the coaches were coming through. It was not at the same serious or taken as seriously as the men's, for sure.
Right.
Whereas now the women's is absolutely on that scale over there. It's coming to be here. I think when you really zoom in, maybe at the grassroots level, you know, from let's say 10 till 18, it's getting kind of diluted, if you
Right.
will. And again, I'll take heat for that. That's okay. That's fine. But Canada has the full potential to compete. You know, this is the best men's national team that we've seen in years, and
Yeah.
we're playing at home. We have maybe one of the best coaches that Canada Soccer has ever seen with Jesse Marsh. So to say that we're maybe not competing globally, I think is a very light excuse, if you will, because we have the resources, we have the players, the talent. Now we have to invest a lot more into it.
Right.
And yeah, I would say I'm pretty passionate about that.
Where did soccer come from for you and your family? Like, who got you into
My
it?
brother.
Your brother?
I was
Mike?
that kid. Yeah,
Mike?
Mike.
Yeah.
I have he's 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do everything that he did. Like I was that
Okay.
sister. So wanted to like, if he was outside playing in the mud, I was right there. Like if he was playing soccer, playing baseball or catch, football, I was there. So I just fell extra in love with soccer. My parents threw me in pretty early at 3. I also did other sports. I was gymnastics for a little bit. But it then got to a point where soccer became busy. I had to pick one. And so my extracurricular was just mainly soccer at around probably 5 or 6.
5 or 6 that you
But
specialize?
I would play like at school. You play like volleyball or basketball.
Just
I was
not
playing
always soccer,
everything.
just-
Yeah.
okay.
But anything that took me outside of the home was soccer focused.
Okay.
Played some competitive basketball with some friends through middle school and stuff, but I'd never miss soccer. Like, stuff would get shifted so that I would go to training. And my mom, she was like, I can't say enough that she gave up her life so that I could play. She would leave work early or change her schedule. She'd take weekends. She'd drive me to the US, be my manager for the team. Like, that woman definitely is a big part of why I'm here.
You don't realize how much your parents give up until
Yeah.
like I'm a parent now, and I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do if Olivia starts to do this, and this? I'm like, oh my God, well, I have to take work off. I gotta leave early. I gotta start adjusting my schedule to that, because you'll do everything that you possibly can to, and maybe they might not go pro, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're making
right?
memories or you're investing, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in my 30s now, and I get tired a lot quicker. And I think back to when I would make my dad bike 5 kilometers to the soccer field, kick around with me for like 2 hours so that I could work on my shot, and then bike home. And he's probably like, I don't know, late 30s at the time.
Yeah.
That man, like, he didn't necessarily come to a lot of stuff in terms of games because he was working a lot. But anytime he had the chance to like help me practice or like push me to do something or be active with it, he was always there. And I just look back on the dedication that they had invested in me, and they really did keep me focused and help me get here big time.
So, and it sounds like from that 3, it seems like a fun, like you had fun.
Yeah,
right?
Lots.
What we come across a lot is almost like tunnel vision parents, because there's a lot of avenues now for sport for kids.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna play hockey, or we're gonna do it 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And we're only going to do that, and we're going to go to practice, we're going to go to games, we're going to get a shooting coach, we're going to get a skating coach, we're going to just only do hockey. Do you think kids experience that in soccer now versus like when you were coming up?
Oh yeah. I see that 99% of the time. And it's scary. Like, I see this with kids that are like 8. My God, you're going to burn the kid out. Like, now you're right. You play soccer all year round. You get like 2 weeks off for Christmas. Yeah. I just went through the longest season of my life with AFC from February all the way to December. I was exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, I love the game, but you also need change. You need to crave the game a little bit, because the second that it becomes like it's work, you're going to fall out of love with it. You do it because it brings you joy. And I think just any advice I would give to parents that are maybe thinking that their kid's not doing enough, just make sure that they're having fun and having a good time, but also don't forget that other sports translate mechanics back to the primary sport. And even if the kid ends up picking another sport or not playing at all, they're going to become such a well-rounded individual, because they're going to be exposed to different people, different environments. It's going to build character. And I think that's great if you're able to bring that to your kid, but maybe just wait until they're ready to specialize in their sport around 14, right? 14 is a strong age where like you're starting to see physical change, and they should know at that age what sport that they like, or if it's 2, if you can afford the 2 sports, that's amazing. But let them be a kid, let them find what truly makes them happy, and keep them outside playing till 9 p.m. where you got to pull them them back in, right? Not drag them to training. So,
what do you think is another sport or activity that translates really well into soccer?
Basketball.
Basketball. Why?
Because of how you have to move your feet,
so
see
footwork,
plays ahead, see things before they happen.
Yeah.
Be able to create something out of nothing, speed of play, transition.
Something out of nothing. What do you mean by that?
I mean that in a game like basketball, it's a team sport, but it's also very highly relied on individual ability. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So I think in basketball, you have those players that can make something out of nothing. Maybe they take it down the whole court and they dribble 4 defenders and do a layup, or they shoot an incredible 3. And I think those moments, in terms of like the individual brilliance, it absolutely applies to soccer. And whether you're on the wing and you need to dribble in to finish a goal, or you're that player that stops somebody else from scoring, and the ability to recognize things before they happens in basketball all the time. A big thing for me is transition. You could be attacking one moment, it can go to defending immediately. That happens in soccer all the time. It's a lot quicker in basketball, but just so many things about both games translate, and it's kind of like chess in two different arenas.
You have a good point about that, because it just brought me back to when I was with the Raptors. There's a guy, Bismack Biyombo. I don't know if you remember him, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't the most skilled player, and he didn't get a lot of points, but he had probably the most impact out of any player on that team.
Yeah.
From an environment perspective. So he would come on, the crowd would go wild, and he would get a block, the crowd would go wild, and you could see the whole pace of the game change.
Yeah.
And so he controlled the game that way. So anytime you stepped on, you knew, you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen.
Impact player.
Or he'd get a rebound, right? So he didn't necessarily get the points, but he got the rebound, he got the block.
Yeah.
Which then, let like DeRozan or Kyle Lowry finish it off and get the points, right?
Yes.
So it's just those little small details, right?
Yeah. The big chess pieces. I like
4D
to call them.
chess.
What's that?
It's like 4D chess.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, 100%. And I think like the fact that I got to play so many sports made me realize how much I love soccer, right? I think it's not fair to not highlight at one age. I think it was like second year high school, say 15, 16 years old. I was missing every social event because of soccer. Soccer was 4 or 5 times a week with the provincial program and my club team. And I was at that age where I'm like, I want to go to parties. Like, I want to see what my girls are doing. Yeah. I want to hear about this at school. I want to go experience it. And I said to my parents, I want to quit. I'm done. Like, I just want to go play house league in Acton and just kick about with my girls.
Yeah.
No, it was a hard no. Like, they almost didn't even entertain the conversation. It was just a no. Like, you're going to training tomorrow at 6 p.m. and that's that. And I was upset. Like, I was so mad. That's obviously the ages where you're starting to rebel a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're always going to come in the ebbs and flows in sport. There's never going to be a smooth trajectory. It's always going to be peaks and valleys. And I think if you can, like I said, lean into the people that really best support you, especially in the low moments, just to stay focused, it can bring you like to some pretty big realizations. And I think a lot of that came from experiencing other sports and saying, yeah, this is fun, but I'm not getting up 7 a.m. on a Saturday to do this. Like, I would do that for soccer, but not for volleyball. So I think I did volleyball, track and field, cross country, all the way till high school. And those absolutely, again, translate vertical in volleyball. Being able to like see maybe where this person's gonna hit, and so you adjust. Yeah. Cross country, endurance, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful that I played different sports, but soccer was my deep passion, and everything else moved out of the way for it. So. And
so those moments, those like important moments where you rely on your support system or your community or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of those this past year with AFC?
Yeah, I did. I first want to shout out my partner, Maxim. He's a former professional, and to have somebody that truly understands how the game works in all facets, off the field, on the field, controllables, uncontrollables, he kept me sane, and he also kept me showing up. To promise myself I'd be my best self and owe it to my teammates, my coaches, just to show up and push. And for that, I'm forever grateful for, because it was a really hard season. But not only that, I absolutely shout out Elevate, because there was so much confusion, as you know, around my injury, and then the best steps to come back as quick as possible. And you literally kept me sane, like getting some information that the pain you're feeling isn't actually there, but it is there, and I know my body, and you justifying that and helping me with Firefly and giving me things to do on my own. Forever grateful for that, because yes, we have a support team at AFC and they're fantastic, but I needed more, and that's where I got it from. And it didn't matter that it was a 45-minute drive or it was your last appointment of the day. You made time for me, and I'll never forget that. And that's why I do tell all my athletes to come here, because you're heard, you are full of great people here, and they, like, the way you give information makes you want to do it, and like, what's next, at least for me. And then of course my family, like the fact that we were on the same time zone, I could go visit them, I didn't have to call them. My friends, I had great friends at AFC, but friends outside the team as well that kept me going, and were there for the dark days, and just that it was all here. I'm really grateful for that, because it might have looked a little bit different if I wasn't at home.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, it's more that distance, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah. You really got to do the work, build the relationships, where I was really lucky, my relationships were already here.
Yeah.
So
there's not that like total isolation that you're feeling, right?
Or starting over from ground zero. Yeah.
Does pro sports get lonely?
Yes.
In what ways?
That's a really good question.
In what ways?
You feel, in my instance, you know, like I checked off the 2 things at the top of my list for a dream come true for a career, right? Mm-hmm. Playing at home, being a signing. I was like the girl, but then it quickly falls off. You know, you fall off your pedestal with a good reality check when injury happens, and you got to climb back. Climb is maybe an understatement, claw back, because every girl wants that position, right? And absolutely, if I was in their shoes, I would too. And so, you know, no one's gonna save you. You have to save yourself at the end of the day, right? You wake up with yourself every morning and go to bed with yourself. So you have to be your biggest champion and biggest critic as well. I think that's important, because it's okay to say, yeah, it's okay, you'll do it next time. At some point, that next time ain't gonna come. You gotta get your shit together. Lack of better words, sorry for swearing.
I think I've sworn like 5 times.
Okay. But no, I think like it is lonely, especially injury. You're fully removed, right? You're seeing all the girls do what you want to do on the field, and you're just on the sideline doing your rehab. Yeah. The best you can do is, how was training? You're not doing anything. You're not fighting out there. You're not scoring goals for the club. Yeah. And so that girl that was the first signing is now sitting in the bleachers. And so yeah, that was a really hard reality check for me. It was lonely. And I doubted myself a lot. Like, a lot of that inner critic voice got the best of me at times. But that's why I said to Ben earlier that overcoming this injury and coming back and clawing back and getting a goal for the club and, you know, earning my moment, if you will, I'm really proud of that. Did it roll out the way I wanted to? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But sports never does. Never does.
Did they let you keep that ball?
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
You know what, too? I have to shout this out for myself, because that was the highest scoring game in NFL history, I think, for that season. Anyways. Yeah. So I was pretty happy about that. Like, I would have loved to take the ball home.
Yeah, you should just grab them right away.
I should have. No, I'm going to maybe reach out to them. I'm kidding.
It's in some vault that they have there. Just break in.
Yeah, for sure. They'd love that. But, yeah.
So what was there like an outlet that you had where, you know, you're lonely and you feel that, just all that pressure? Like, what was your outlet going through this, instead of, because like some people can, you know, like you said, like feel sorry for themselves, or, you know, have like their pity party or whatever. Yeah. Like what did you do?
At the beginning, I had those days. I'm a human being. I have a lot of emotion. I'm also a woman too, right? And Serbian, let me add that too, because Serbians, we can get, I don't know,
I've seen your guys' basketball games, and that's like...
different. That's a good glimpse.
I don't want to go to
like
one of those
10%.
games.
10%.
10%.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, definitely. Like I had days that were just like, shit, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know, like, is it past my time? You know, like, but I think you just gotta face your reality. Do you want to be injured and you want to never get back to where you were at? Or are you just going to grind it out, get something out of it, and see where it goes? And for me, I never want something unanswered because I don't want to be, 60 on my front porch, drinking a tea, being like, well, what if you did this?
Yeah.
It would eat you alive, So my approach was, why not try and see what happens? And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. At least you tried and you showed up as best as you could. And that's all you can ask yourself. And that was a promise I made. And I'm so glad I did that because, like I said, I discovered a lot about myself. And it was almost that much sweeter when I did get on the field and when I did get to contribute to the sheet and whether it was an assist or a goal, I felt like, oh yeah, like that's the feeling I've been craving. And it was like so much sweeter because of all of the hurdles I went over. So really, really, I would take that every time, the hard route, because the easy route is very unsatisfying.
Yeah. You mentioned something that's, I think, really, really important is that you said like you're a human too. And I think a lot of times we put athletes on this pedestal, especially pro athletes, and that maybe gives some people permission to maybe say certain things and do certain things that are not really appropriate.
Yeah.
Like again with the Raptors, right? I remember Kevin Love. Remember him from Cleveland? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
So Kevin Love was, I think, the center in Cleveland.
Okay.
And I would be situated on the sidelines, like where the visiting team tunnel is, and that's where they would keep like an exercise bike for whoever wanted to use it for the visiting team.
Yes.
And Kevin Love, every time he came off the court, he would be on that bike, and he would just keep warming up so he doesn't get cold, right? And I remember this was in playoffs, and there were these two guys that were just giving it to him. Like, I understand being a fan, I totally get that, but this was like, guys, like, you gotta calm down.
Yeah.
They were berating this guy, and I just remember he had a towel over his head, and he was just like head down, and just right. And I just remember thinking in that moment, being like, guys, like, just shut the fuck up. If you
Yes.
shoot, like the guys that nobody goes to your work and yells at you for doing accounting or something,
Yeah.
What gives you the right to just berate this guy?
100%.
And I think that's what a lot of people miss. That they're like, oh yeah, this person's on TV. I can say anything I want to them on social media because I have that disconnect. They're up here, I'm up here, so it gives me whatever, right?
Yeah.
They signed up for this. A lot of times you hear about that. It's like, yeah, that's a part of the job. You get to be berated and do all that stuff, right? So I think people lose that.
Yep.
They lose sight of that, and there's a human, behind that like on that court or on that field, right?
No, absolutely. I feel for people that they have to go through it, and to some degree, you did say something that I agree with. Like, you do sign up for it, being a pro athlete, because there's going to be people like that, and I think at that level, like, you're taught to funnel in terms of what you hear or what you listen to and what you don't. But you're right, like, having to be on the outside and hear somebody get absolutely berated for no reason, just whatever they're going through is impacting their performance. It's a different lens. What's crazy though is that I'm starting to hear that at like U12 games, whereas like
Really?
parents will berate the kids
Like
or
their
the
own
referee,
kids or like
the other team.
Wow.
It's unfortunate. And so at the pro level, I can maybe understand it because there's some crazy fans. And at the end of the day, you're getting paid a lot of money to do to play a game.
Yeah.
So you do need to be switched on as like 95% of the time. You have your off days, like you said, you're a human being, but it's starting to trickle down more and more and more. And it's ruining games for kids because kids are getting berated by an adult.
Yeah.
Come on.
You should know better.
Yeah. Like, you're literally talking about his haircut or how high his shorts are.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Like,
Yeah.
that is not the right example to be setting, and they do not need to be exposed to that early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's part of the game.
Because even that season, so the second part of the story is, the season's done, and in the summer, Kevin Love actually wrote a piece for, I can't remember what the Athletic, I think is that one, where
Okay.
athletes
Yeah.
can write articles or whatever. And he actually wrote an article about his depression. And it took me back to that moment. I was like, holy shit. Like him with the towel on his head, like at the time I was like, okay, he's just trying to block it off, focus on the game. But then I read that article and I was like, holy shit. Like what was going through his mind, in that time, and what was it like going home, right? And sleeping or staring at the ceiling before going to bed, being like, fuck me, I got to do this tomorrow again.
I know.
I know. And that's this. And then DeMar DeRozan came up with his thing and about like the mental health side of things, right? It was like heartbreaking. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, right? I think it's a part that's not talked about enough. And when your routine is disrupted, especially as an athlete, everything kind of feels off. You don't even feel like your true self. I remember there being times where I would be driving, or I'd even wake up in the morning and I'd have to drag myself to the facility. And just some days were heavier than others. Like some days you show up really motivated, and other days you're not all there, because you're just not, you kind of feel like you lost a part of yourself in a way, if that makes sense. It'd be like you never being able to play golf for like 9 months, prime season.
Yeah.
It'd be like, you'd feel a little bit, not
Well, everybody
full.
else is playing golf.
That's what I mean.
That's the other thing, right?
Yeah. And I think there was points in my season where I would be showing up and maybe not as fully present as I would like to be, because I was emotional about the state I was in. Did I use that as leverage to get back? Sure. Right away? No. Because there's like part of it that you need to deal with yourself as an athlete, if that makes sense. Like it'd be like leaving emotions unresolved, and then you use those emotions maybe later in a game and it's a stupid decision and you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Which I've done before as well. And learning from that, it's best that you get clarity and focus for the right reasons. But a lot of athletes do face depression, and it's hard to see. Maybe it's hidden because they channel it through sport. Or they just, maybe because they're an athlete or a pro level, like they don't have time to take care of it, or they're maybe a little too nervous to showcase that they're feeling a certain type of way.
Right.
And that happens in women's sport a lot.
Is pain a problem in soccer? Particularly on like the medication side. Like, do people just go through pain and kind of mask it with, like pain medications throughout the season, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's injuries that you face that are playable. You can play through them, right?
Yeah.
The scale of that pain is different for everybody. And I had teammates that were popping Tylenols before they would train and they would go to games. And you add on the Tiger Balm and then the freezing spray. I know that's not medication, but you are dulling pain that your body is feeling. And like that's just part of it, unfortunately. And when you have such a long, heavy season like the NSL, where there's 25 games, and you're still like, maybe your roster is getting short because there are actual girls with injuries. You kind of do have to step up to the plate and play through that little ankle sprain that you have. So, fortunately, yes, that is also a part of being a pro.
So what advice would you give to, let's say, that 14, 15-year-old who is taking their sport more serious now, they're starting to specialize, and how would you describe to them the feeling of like hurt versus injured, where hurt is that those playable, you're always going to have something in a 25-game season. There's always going to be these little things that you're dealing with that you can numb a little bit and play through, that might not necessarily be a risk for further injury.
Yeah.
versus injured where it's like you need to step away, get your rehab and focus on that, miss a few games
Yeah.
so that it doesn't get even worse and then you have some sort of like whatever lifelong
Long-term.
injury or long-term
Yeah.
injury
Yeah.
And miss a season, maybe next season, maybe your career is done.
Yeah.
Like how would you help navigate, kids at that age?
Yeah, I see this a lot because in the privates that I do, these kids are coming to me from high performing environments, which probably go 3-4 times a week plus the game. Then they make time for me. And they show up and their ankles, they're limping when they show up. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I'll ask them, what's the pain like on a scale of 1 to 10? If it's above a 5, okay, I'll start to investigate a little bit more. How long has it been going on? Does it happen when you do certain things? If they can't pass a ball without pain, for example, it's a no-go. That shouldn't happen. If it's a certain movement, like maybe a forceful action, like a shot or a sprint, and you feel it, is it playable through? Or my biggest thing is how long has it been going on for? If it's been going on for more than 2 weeks, or around that 2-week mark, you should probably get it looked at if it's not improving. Right? If it's a little knock that you got from a game 4 days ago, could be maybe a bone bruise. Let's just keep an eye on it for the next 10 days and see how it goes. But it's my biggest thing that I like to say is it's okay to give yourself grace. It's okay to miss a week of training, and it's okay to miss a game. They will come back. What's going to happen if you continue is you might aggravate it further. You could, like you said, get a long-term injury, but also probably 90% of the time, most importantly, is if you do just step into that game and so happen there's somebody in the crowd watching and they get that first impression of you as that player, you're burnt. You always have to remember that somebody is always watching, always. And for that reason, you should be performing at your best in training and in games. If you're not at your best and you know that, you know your body at 15, 16 years old, what's off and maybe something that's kind of out of place, do you really want to burn that bridge over not missing this game because you're scared of FOMO? Just take a breath. Give your body a second to catch up and then go perform.
So you're talking about if there's scouts or somebody.
Scouts, it could be maybe a coach from another team.
Yeah. Right?
That might be presenting you with a better opportunity. It could be the video most games are videotaped now. If that gets sent out or put on YouTube and a coach now sees you and you're playing like shit, that's their first impression. And you obviously know how important first impressions are.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing as an athlete. Right? You want to catch that coach's eye, or you want a top D1 school to recognize you, don't play injured. Yeah. Unless, like you said, you can play through it. There's a very fine line of what that looks like. And your body changes so much, whether you're male or female at 15, 16 years old. It's like prime puberty, right? So, yeah. I don't know. There's just much more risk, in my opinion, than reward, especially for the athletes that are specializing and they want to do something with the sport.
Yeah.
So
it's like short-term versus long-term thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, you could play that game, but you'll be at 60%.
Absolutely.
But but if you miss that game, rehab, do whatever you got to do to get to 100. Yeah. Then you're showcasing at 100 as opposed to, right?
And you'll learn so much more on how to prevent that from happening in the future.
Right. That's another, when we work with younger kids, it's I think 90% education and body awareness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Mechanics.
When you're on the field, what can I play through and what is that type of injury where I'm I should probably sit out and get this.
Yeah. And that comes with time. It really does. You learn your body. That's why when I was told my first MRI, oh, you're good, there's no fracture. But the pain was unlike anything I've ever had. I've never broken a bone.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. And it's also not getting better after 5 weeks.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I will say this, athlete intuition, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. If you feel something's off, investigate.
Yeah.
Because that is a very powerful tool. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about one of my fascinations with athletes is identity. So technically you're retired, early 30s, and you're retired, living the dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who is Jade in post soccer? Who like do you tie your identity to soccer, or are you still working through that? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think a part of me still does. I'm still invested from a coaching perspective, and my business is
Yeah.
around soccer. However, me off the field, I am trying to discover what that could be. And I'm a nature lover. I love animals. I've always been that way. And I definitely want to investigate what that could look like, maybe from a career perspective as well. I love public speaking and taking my tests in the broadcasting, sports pundit area as well to see if I like it. And it's really exciting because one thing with me I will say is I'm not impatient, but I have pretty like strict standards with myself. It comes from like being an athlete, right?
Yeah.
And my first broadcast that I did is with the One Soccer for a Champions League final, which is incredible. It's like throwing myself right into the fire.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very good. Like I was okay, but there's so much to grow. And when I left, I was like upset and frustrated with myself because I was like, oh, you could have done better here, here, here. But then I took a day to reflect and I'm like, this is your first time. Like, were you good at soccer when you first kicked a ball? No, you were garbage. Not garbage, but like you weren't there.
Yeah.
And you just decided to investigate and learn and it took you somewhere. So I know that the type of person I am, I will dive deep into something and I will get eventually good at it. What that looks like right now is kind of scattered, but that's kind of the fun part is like you get to reinvent yourself and I'm not scared of that. I think it will bring a lot of fun stories in the future.
Do you think people struggle with that though? Like post career? I remember reading this one thing about Ben Wallace, who was the center for the Pistons when the Pistons were like, you know, like 2004 Pistons when they won all
huge.
those championships.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it sucks retiring because you have this regimented schedule and it's kind of set for you. Here's practice, here's the game, da da da, right? Gym sessions. And someone's always keeping you accountable on the team, right? And then he's like, all of a sudden, the phone stops ringing. And you're like lonely and you're like, I don't know, like not everybody could go work for TSN or, I don't know, be an analyst or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, he found himself just lost. He's like, I don't know who I am anymore because a lot of athletes tie their identity to their sport.
Yes.
Because you spend so much time in your sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's
did
so
you
relatable.
feel like that? Did
yeah,
you,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, was it like an off switch? Like
it was. It happened like when I knew I was going to retire. Obviously, this was like nearing the end of the season. That's kind of where I was like really upset and really scared, if you will. Like, this is all you've done. You've built your identity around this. This is what people know you for. You know, what are you going to do now? If you're not going to be playing 11v11. And it made me like really zoom in to any moment I was with my team, especially when we went away for World Sevens at the end of the season. I tried to take in every single moment with my team because I knew that was maybe the last time that I'd be in an environment like that. And I would catch myself like getting emotional by myself, like just in a meeting, just like, Jade, get it together. And, you know, I think I had that process while I was still involved. And not to say that as soon as, you know, preseason rolled around for AFC and I see the stuff on social media, that I didn't have this feeling of like emptiness, because I did. Like I was like, oh, I wonder what the girls are talking about today in the change room.
Right.
Oh, I wonder what they're doing in the gym. I wonder what exercise Marco decided to run today. Like there was a part of me that felt like missing, and I didn't like that. So that's when I started to get busy. Like that's not helping you in terms of like feeling sorry for yourself or feeling lonely. It's amazing to recognize that, but do something about it. And it's like the old school Serbian mentality coming back, hearing my dad talk in my back of my head. And yeah, I just think that's where I just reached out to some old contacts and just said, hey, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try this. And I remember hearing this online. I think it was Oprah. So I'm kind of quote Oprah.
Okay.
I know. I don't watch Oprah, but I saw this one thing she said. It was like, when you do what you love, you're never going to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that like hit home for me. Like this was back in 2018. So I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And like I said to you, I love public speaking. So broadcasting seems natural because it's in that same realm. You know, it's preparation for a performance, and you get one shot, and then you prepare again, and you get that one shot. And I think if I keep picking things that bring me joy, whatever they are, even if they're completely unrelated, I'll be a happy girl.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I can choose to stay connected to the game I grew up playing, or choose to completely remove myself. It's up to me at the end of the day. And this is my way of staying connected, by coaching and, you know, by seeing all the girlies online and seeing what they're doing and going to pay them a visit once in a while. And that's enough for me, because I'm in a phase of my life now where like other things are starting to take priority, you know, like the next phase of getting married and starting a family and building my business and finding my next identity. So there's a lot of beauty in that too.
Yeah,
So.
I obviously haven't experienced that. I'm not a professional athlete, but maybe with golf, we're
You
still.
kind of have though,
we're still-
because like you got to work with the Raptors, and then like you created this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't just form. You
know,
created an amazing like company now that's supporting so many people in different locations.
When I listen to you talk, it's like you go into problem solving mode.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing. Is like, okay, great. For me, I give myself maximum a half a day pity party.
Okay.
Especially early on in the business, when things were just early on in the business and everything was going wrong, and you're like, fuck me, like I'm banging my head against the wall every day.
Yeah.
And just like when it rains, it pours.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like one thing after the other.
Yeah.
Like, half a day, that's it. And Joanna knows this. I'll be like depressed and I'll just be mopey, but half a day. And then I just, okay, done. We're
Yeah.
like now problem solving. Let's
Yep.
do it, right? And it's very similar. So you're right.
It's
You're right in
literally
that.
spot on.
It's-
I take more than half a day. I'll be honest. I'll sometimes
That's
take a
okay.
week, but I always will bounce back, and I do.
Yeah.
I think that's like a lot of the character building that I've developed from
Yeah.
sport, you know.
Yeah.
And I had pretty tough parents.
Yeah.
So I think like that didn't just come from sport. It came from my childhood as well and how I was raised. And yeah, like I think that's maybe one of my stronger qualities is like bring me a challenge and let's figure it out.
Yeah. So there is a lot of similarities about that, and even for me, working with athletes and getting into business and stuff like that, I almost made it an effort not to make me being a therapist my identity, because just like athletes, there is a timeline to this. Like I can't do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to,
100%.
right? So it's almost like you have to. I came into it already thinking about that,
Okay.
and almost like guarding myself from that, being like, nope, don't tie your whole identity to your profession. You're more than that. You can figure it out. So just like you had that transition period of, okay, this is my next phase. Let's kind of ease into it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like that, I guess, Ben Wallace flip of a switch. It was similar for me in that sense.
Yeah.
It just happened a lot earlier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's actually better, probably, right? For you to like recognize that and be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And now you have like a clean slate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's similar, right? If I get injured, I throw my back out, whatever.
Yes.
My health,
Yeah.
I can't work,
I know.
right?
It's crazy.
I'm not typing on a computer or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. So what do I do then? I get depressed. Like no, we gotta
Figure it out.
figure it out somehow, right?
Yep.
So for me, I'm like, well, if I prep for that,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I could also find meaning in something else, right?
100%.
And so it's very, very similar in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that I'm curious about, or a little bit obsessed about, I guess, is failure and the fear of failure. So it's something that I've struggled with a lot. I'm way better at it now. But I had to do a lot of work to get over that fear of failure. And it's not necessarily about other people seeing you fail. It's about me seeing me fail.
Okay.
And you're a goal scorer. You have, I think, still the record in League One. You're so humble.
Yeah.
You're so humble. Both men's and women's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many?
Like 174.
Like 174.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And I think, so with your position, I think a lot of people think goal scoring comes easy and there's not a lot of failures with goal scoring. So how do you deal with failures on the pitch and off the pitch?
It looks a lot different now than it did before. I think failure before looked a lot like forgetting about it and then starting over, brand new. What I mean by forgetting about it is like on the day, let's say I had a really bad game and I was like 16, 17. I would like forget about it in terms of like, okay, that was terrible. And then let's start new at training. And that's like, you know you did bad, you know you need to improve. So it's got to be a good work week. Whereas now with failure, I look at it like, okay, let's actually look at what you did really badly in detail. So I'll go back to my video, for example. I'll watch why I received the ball a certain way, why my touch was bad, what detail I could have changed with maybe my positioning, things like that, like anything to critique the smallest detail to create a margin. And that was more of like, you failed, nice, we got some information. What are we doing with this information? And how are we going to apply it so that we know to never do that again? Whereas before, maybe it was a little bit more of that fear of failure where it's like, you failed, okay, you failed.
Yeah,
it's okay,
yeah.
We're going to work on, we'll do something else, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, let's hope the coach didn't see it, or let's hope my parents don't say I didn't shoot enough, which never happened. It was always like, you know, what was worse is if they didn't say anything at all. That's how you know.
When you're like, oh.
That's how you know it's going to be a tough car ride. But anyways, like, yeah, I think for me, definitely you could label it as like fear of failure early on, and like don't want to upset the coach. You want to be the perfect player. You want to be selected. Whereas you know you're obviously more mature. You've lived through deeper failure moments. Now it's like, okay, let's look at it. How can we apply it? And that's just like being more aware of the peaks and valleys of being an athlete. You're going to have a good game. You're going to have a bad game. You're going to have a bad training. You're going to have a fantastic training. Things are going to go your way. Maybe you won't even get recognized. But look at it as to why, or try to find a solution, or ask the right questions and use that as information. Just change the lens. It's like, you failed to, we learned.
It's like avoiding it versus tackling it head on.
Yes.
And it's really counterintuitive because that's how I got over it. Where, yeah, like just move on. Let's just hope nobody saw that.
Yeah.
Versus,
even though it keeps happening, or
versus, okay, like let's tackle them. Yep, they happen. Why did they happen? And then also getting over the fear of the next failure.
Yeah.
Like accepting, okay, yeah, like especially in business, that's like, that taught me.
100%.
Just keep failing, go. And now the mindset is failures are actually good.
Yeah.
Because you can analyze them and move on and
absolutely
you know,
change
get better.
Something.
Yeah.
And looking at it as, oh, I'm getting better actually by failing, because that was a shit touch. We're going to fix it. We're going to spend 1 hour now working on that touch so that it never happens again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
So what are you up to now? Tell us about your business.
I'm golfing
Tell us.
with Mike.
We're golfing.
And the Elevate team.
We're what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks we got Nemo?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We're going to master that course.
I will. I shot a 109, which is not great, but it was my first time. So I'm finding passion through other sport, which is lovely. Coaching.
So tell us about J9.
J9 is essentially a place where players can come and develop their individual skills, learn more about the game through video analysis with me, you know, join a group and just kind of tweak certain skills like shooting power, receiving, 1v1s, a A lot of it is specialized in front of goal, but not always. And for me, it's a really big passion getting to work with the individual, because in a team environment, you don't get that same detail from a coach just because it's simply, there's no time. And I think it can really change the confidence in a player. You know, like if they're struggling with shooting power and they come and they learn how to hit the ball properly and you see that smile light up, you know that that's going to translate to a game eventually. Maybe not right away because it's a new skill, but they might feel 10% more confident going into their next game, and that'll stay with them. And for me, that is like when a kid picks up a new skill or they leave my session feeling better, I can't put that into words. So that's how I know I'm in the right place, is because I get excited before my sessions every day. And like you, I don't see myself on the field forever. I definitely will be stepping away from it in the future, but for now it's a great filler for not playing. So keeps me fit. These kids keep me active. So thankful for that.
Yeah, if you ever want to, like, you know, keep mobile and moving, hang out with a bunch of kids.
It's the private sessions, man. They don't pass right to your feet, so you got to move. Like your cardio is through the roof. So it's good.
Okay, so and that's where are you doing that?
I do it out of Georgetown primarily.
Okay.
But I do have a day in Mississauga. So right in it's a nice little pocket.
Okay. And then how can people book?
You can go to my website. You can DM me. My phone is also on my Instagram, so you can text me through that.
Okay.
If you want to learn more information, it's completely free to set up a call with me so that I can learn more about your player. Everything is always tailored to the individual. So I like to watch their game before I train them so that I can pick up little habits that they do in the game, and then we apply it in the session together. So it is a detailed hour. Sometimes we go over, but for the most part, kids are pretty tired, not only mentally, but physically after a session.
As a parent, that's like, how young do you take off? Because if I could find something that drains Olivia so that she's knocked out on the car ride home, that's like,
hey, give me a call.
I'll pay
if you
double
want your
for
kid
that.
to go to bed before 9 o'clock, give me a call.
Seriously, how young did you take them?
So normally I don't take anything below 10.
10? Okay.
10 is really early for me.
You'll make a special exception for Olivia, right?
I would. Okay. If she's in Timbits, obviously I'll be there. I'll be her coach.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No, but honestly, like my biggest thing is it their only sport? If it's their only sport or one of two sports, come work with me. But if it's, just for passion or just for fun, or, they're not taking it super seriously, we're not there yet.
Right.
Like give it some time, let them fall in love with the game. And when they're ready, let's give it a try. But obviously, this is for more so for players that are focused on taking the game somewhere.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know you over the last few years really well. So I think that this is like an unparalleled, I don't think it's like you're in a category of one.
Thank you.
Because I think that the way that you work with these kids isn't just, I think it goes beyond soccer.
Yeah,
so I think like you were saying, like you get into, if these kids have any injuries, like you get into just all of that other stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? And like the mental health side of things probably, and the
you're
like they're you know who Greg Popovich is?
No, I don't.
The Spurs coach.
Okay.
I don't think he's a coach now, but he's like, because he had a stroke, so he had to step away.
Oh my gosh.
But now in the playoffs, they're in the playoffs, and he's come back as like a consultant type of thing.
Okay.
So every player that goes through his system, that's like their second dad. They call him like to this day, right? So he had a stroke, right? And Tim Duncan, who was a player for Popovich when the Spurs had their era, like he's helping him with his rehab, making sure that he's on.
No way.
Just because of like that's how much.
Yeah, how well respected he is.
He's right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of the vibe, the type of coaching you provide.
I hope
right?
so. I really do hope so. I think I like to try to make myself accessible to my players in all forms, and they can reach me online, they can call me, we can talk about anything, and I do hope that my players feel that way. And it feels really good to just stay connected with the youth and hopefully impact the game in some way.
With the youths.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Jade, thank you so much for coming in.
always a good
I
time.
really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too.
Everybody, be sure to check out J9. Be sure to
Check
you
out Elevate if you haven't.
check out Elevate for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
Thanks so much.